first Christ Gang Media News, you all. I'm your host, Brian Taylor Bridges. Welcome to Go Out First Christ Gang Media News, you all. I want to go in today about a young man out of Kentucky, you all. You all come on in. Young man out of Kentucky by the name of DeVore Stoner, you all. He happened to be a police informant. Come on in. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News. I'm your host, Brian Taylor Bridges. Welcome to God First Christ Gang Media News. Happy Blessed Friday, you all. Happy Blessed Friday. Come on in. I want to go in about a young man, you all, by the name of DeVore Stoner, you all. Happened to be a police informant, happened to be a tipster working for the Kentucky Police Department, you all. Now, mind you, this young man is nothing more than a child, you all, a kid, you all. He was manipulated by this particular police department to actually take on this job, you all. I said it. He was manipulated by the Kentucky Police Department to actually take on this particular job, you all. Now, mind you, the young man had been growing up, I guess, pretty fast. Had been hanging with the wrong crowd, you all. And mind you, he was hanging with some particular friends that, like so many other young men, you all, happened to lead him down the wrong path, you all. In this particular situation, the young man was caught up with another young man who happened to possibly try to hit a lick, you all. I said he was trying to hit a lick, and hit a lick for people that don't understand down here in the South. Hit a lick is kind of like for one of these young men out the streets to actually hit some kind of robbery or some kind of quick hustle where they can make a fast buck, you all. In this particular case, the person that he was with, I said the person that the young man was with happened to either shot someone, did an attempted murder, or something of that nature, you all. But it was not an actual murder, you all. Now, mind you, in Texas, you are definitely guilty by association. I said it, you are definitely guilty by association. People will blackball you behind your certain friends. You know, people will dislike the people that you are connected with and literally blackball you, you all. But like I said, in this particular situation, this young man happened to be with some pretty bad company, you all. Now, mind you, the police understand this whole situation, but instead of them using it to help the young man, you all, to try to give him some proper guidance or maybe some counseling, this particular police department decided to bait the young man and put him back into the streets. I said it, this same particular police department put the young man back in the streets, you all. Now, this young man was supposed to be some type of informant. Now, mind you, they had the young man was murdered, you all. Now, we have video surveillance that captured these officers allegedly removing at possibly what appeared to be some type of wire, you all. I said it appeared to be some type of wire, like maybe a wire, something that they use to record why these certain individuals are on the streets, you all. But in this particular case, they tried to paint the whole picture, you all. The police are seen after this young man is shot multiple times inside the vehicle. The police proceed to drag the young man out of the vehicle while they retrieve their police equipment, and proceed to run. They The officers proceeded to run and leave the scene, you all. Like I said, this is absolutely crazy, and absolutely crazy to make a child go back into the streets to do the job that you all should be doing in the first place. And like I said, in this particular case, what's so baffling to me, you all, that the young man, by law, by his own right, cannot, I said, cannot join the police force, cannot be a tipster, a snitch, or anything of that nature without the consent of his parents, you all. I said it, without the consent of his parents. Now, this Kentucky Police Department decided they was going to put the young man in the streets anyway, you all. What they particularly want to see us in the streets anyway, see us in the streets dead somewhere, you all. And they left the young man right there to particularly die right there in the streets, while their main objective was to retrieve some audio equipment. Like I said, this is absolutely a shame, you all, and really a shame to make a young kid, a kid that doesn't even have the wherewithal, the mother wit to even make a decision like this. You are, I said it, the young man mind is not even developed enough to be in a situation of such a magnitude. I mean, who would actually let a 14, 15, 16-year-old child, and I believe the young man may have gotten in trouble between the age of 14 to 16, you all, while they started trying to manipulate our children and push them back into the street. I said, you all, because mind you, the crime rate is going up very fast, you all, and we do have a lot of kids that are out in the streets. So imagine how many parents, some of these young, particular men, these young children don't even have parents, you all, solid parents that's actually involved with them. Some of them just leave them in the juvenile detention. They just let the police deal with them, you all. And that's how particularly some of these kids are raised. And once they get into these certain situations, these are the kind of actions that they are taking on. You know, I don't know what possessed the government or any police department to make a move like this, to actually put our children in the streets as though he's some kind of Denzel Washington, like this some training day movie or something, you all. I mean, this is absolutely insane. I'm going to take the time out and actually read the clip to you all, because the mother is outrageous, you all, and she has absolutely a right to be upset. In fact, we all should be upset. I mean, because I can't imagine any police department, Houston PD, Beaumont PD, San Marcos, wherever it come from, any kind of PD, to actually come to my child and solicit him to be some kind of like he's some kind of ace murder detective or something. Try to manipulate his mind to think that he really down on the force, you all. I mean, imagine the mind frame of one of these kids to actually think, oh, yesterday I was about to get in trouble, and now I'm actually a police officer. You know, what kind of crap is that, you know, for a young child that not ready to take on these kind of manly duties? I said they are manly duties. And this particular Kentucky, this particular racist police department that they have are down there taking advantage of our children, you all. And I'm going to tell you straight up, just like that. And that's crazy. For them, like I said, to actually do something like this, you all, without the consent of his parent, not even to even send him on the streets, not knowing what kind of mission did they have him in. And then the cover up they used was some type of Stoner and his friend was fit to rob an unknown person by the name of MD and tell him that you know, they was fit to carjack somebody. What kind of mess is that? Now, what kind of operation is that? Operation Auto Theft? This was not the Auto Theft unit, y'all. By far, this was not no Operation Vehicle Theft. The little boy was not even on that type of a crime. He was not even involved in this type of interactions, you all. I said he was not involved in these type of interactions, you all, for him to even be in this particular location. And like I said, it's crazy. Copyright disclaimer under Title 17. USC, Sections 107. Allowance is made for fair uses for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute and might otherwise be infringed. Non-profit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. It tips the balance in favor of fair use, you all. Like I said, this is real sad, you all. And condolences to little brother DeVore Stoner, you all. Condolences to him, his mother, and his whole family. This is absolutely wrong, you all, and sad to see. Like I said, ain't no way any one of my children would have been allowed to do no mess like this for some kind of people that don't have no kind of care about their lives. No way, shape, form, or fashion, you all. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. It said, mother of a 17-year-old who died because he may have been a confidential informant. So now they in the news, he may have been. No, he was definitely working for this particular police department, you all. I said that he was definitely working for this particular police department. I mean, the young man not even old enough to drink, you all. He's not even 18, the legal age that he would have had been to consent his own to consent himself, you all, had he been 18, but they decided to put him on the streets like he was Denzel Washington and was going to bust somebody out in the streets, you all, and somebody gave it to him. Somebody figured it out, you all, and popped him is what actually happened, you all. So let me finish reading the story. It says, mother of a 17-year-old who died because he may have been a confidential informant for the LMPD speaks out. Louisville, Kentucky. A wrongful death lawsuit is claimed in a 17-year-old boy who was fatally shot in a fast food restaurant parking lot last year died because he was working as a confidential informant for the Louisville Metro Police, you all. It said, now the boy's mother is speaking out after a video on the day of her son's death had surfaced. He said, the day that my son was murdered, my son did the unusual, which was clean up his room, said Sister Shawanda Carter is his mother's name, you all. Just something that he never did, you all. And she can remember that, I'm pretty sure, very vividly, as this Kentucky Police Department didn't misused and abused her son, you all. And instead of them bringing him home safely, like any police department should have done, they decided to take him and send him to the wolves, you all. Just stick him back right out there in the street. We don't know if they gave him a drug sack, if he took the wire and 2 rocks, or the wire and a $10 weed sack. We don't know what went on, but we do know they was caught retrieving some kind of audio equipment. And then why you running from a person that's dead, that's laying on the ground? After you drag him out the police car, you are. Like I said, it's so sad and strange, because, they just do our children any kind of way. It said that day that my son was murdered, like I said, he had to clean up his room. Miss Carter said that her son's behavior was suspicious in the week before his death. So all this week, he been busting some moves, trying to make some moves for these 2 particular laws that they sent over there, you all. And why, like I said, what kind of auto theft case that would have been? I mean, who they was gonna bust by sending somebody to jack a car? Now, so So y'all saying it ain't bait card no more. Y'all actually taking young police informant, and having them to rob people in the streets. You saying y'all sending kids to actually rob civilians in the streets, and then y'all call them an informant. Sound like they working for y'all, so y'all can make some type of arrest on who? Y'all trying to plan a case on somebody else? What's going on in Kentucky? You know, like I say, this is very baffling to me. He always told me he was okay, Miss Carter said. He was like, Mama, don't trip. I'm all right. I'm like, are you sure? Because something is not right, you all. Miss Carter now believes she knows what was happening. You know, looking back, she can all put it together. It said the lawsuit filed on Monday by the mother of Devore Stoner. Also, alleged cell phone video showed the LAPD's officers removing electronic surveillance equipment from Stoner's body when they first responded to the scene. It said the mother's attorney, Ira Scotter, acknowledges the video is really grainy, but I could still make one what I thought was clearly a police officer moving surveillance wires off of Devon Stoner and running away, you all. It says, Scatter said, and even though I could see the wrapping of the wire around the waist of his as he sprinted off, you all. I mean, you can actually see I never seen no lawman running from no scene like I seen this, y'all. I mean, this is crazy, you all. Now I didn't know they planted dope on people, planted dope on some of my people, you know, so forth and so on. These people been so crooked for generations and decades and decades. But to actually see them retrieving something off a body, man, what kind of police department is this? You know, it said the lawsuit presents only one side allegation. Said the LAPD initially declined to be interviewed for this story, citing the policy not to commit on pending litigations, you all. It said later on Tuesday, the department issued a state that read, the LMPD resoundingly refutes what is being put forward and further encourages the interested parties to submit open records requesting for the body cam worn footages of the necessary reactions must be completed and in accordance to Kentucky state law. It said WLKY has filed an open records request for the body cam footage of the officer seen in the video, you all. So they don't even have the rest of the footage, you all. I mean, these people don't even have the footage. This was somebody else that captured this footage, you know. So they don't even have, in this same particular case, the body, this man has been, in this case, this has been going on for almost a year, y'all. And they still don't have all the police body footage in that was on that scene. You know, this is outrageous. It said, the LMPD said it is in the process of making a reaction required under state law. It says Stoner died August the 25th of 2021 after being fatally shot in a Zambia's restaurant on Fern Valley Road. At that time, the LAPD said all parties were accountable for, and there was little ensuing media coverage on Stoner's death. So they was they told the chief now, the lieutenant, the sergeant, they went and told everybody on in man, we ain't kidding, man, we don't got nothing on that, we don't know what happened. And then later they come up with some kind of, it was an auto theft. Man, none of that makes sense. It said no more information was publicly disclosed about the circumstances of that shooting until Tuesday, you all, when the Jefferson County Commonwealth Attorney Office filed a legal document in the incident of a 19-year-old charged in Stoner's death. So they have a 19-year-old that's charged in the man's death. On July the 27th, Antonio Lawson was indicted, and charges are complicity to murder and complicity to robbery, you all. It said, according to the court documents filed in the case, Stoner was shot while he and Lawson attempted to rob and carjack a victim, you all. So how can this man be trying to carjack somebody and the police working for y'all on the case? They trying to man, that don't make no sense. They trying to carjack somebody, but y'all right there on the scene fast enough to get there before the backup team, the ambulance, and everybody else. While y'all pull this stuff out for him and catch out like Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Boy, this is sad. It says Stoner and Lawson were walking near Preston Highway when they encountered DM, y'all. Asked for a ride. According to those documents below is an excerpt, y'all. Excerpt. During the trip, DM made the wrong turn and pulled into the Zabish parking lot to take a look at his phone for directions. So whoever this particular person was had just pulled in there, y'all, from what they saying. So where they get this particular information? From the officers who was actually paying attention to the scene? I mean, because it couldn't have been, it had to be some kind of drug operation. They trying to say this man pulled up on the scene and was just actually happened to be looking in his phone, looking for directions. And that was the man that they was going to carjack. Instead of him, they made a call to somebody who probably had potentially been hustling, and he came to some conclusion that this little boy was working for them police, and he popped him while he was in the car, you all. That's just my perception. And it said lawsuits, it said that narrative coroner's claims made in the civil lawsuit, which alleged Stoner was unarmed, y'all. It said he was unarmed when he was shot and did not pose a risk or harm to anyone involved or present during this particular operation, you all. So he wasn't trying to rob or jack nobody. He ain't have a gun the first time or the second time. The first time when he got in trouble, it wasn't his gun in the first place. And this time it was not his gun. So what y'all saying then? Instead of getting a young man out of trouble, you get him killed. You know, like I said, this police department is more than responsible, you all. And like I'm trying to understand who authorized them to do that. You know, because I know the chief ain't signed off on nothing like that. Not down there without nobody consent. You know, that don't make no sense. It said Scarter said that his client, that's the attorney, you all, Stoner's mother, never signed such a waiver. You know, it said she would like to see the case somehow spark a movement, you all. So we out here doing our part right now. So you all like and share, you all. Like I said, this one is it's sad. I mean, it's crazy for them to take our children and put them on like he was 007 or something. Man, what kind of move is that, man? How y'all entrap the kids into police work? Man, this one is crazy, y'all. I do have a video clip. Let me get this on and see if I...
Powering on. Ready to pair.
WLKY's Mark Vanderhoff spoke to the mother's attorney.
And Mark, what kind of evidence did they say they have in this case?
Vicky, right now, the only evidence attorneys are publicly revealing is a cell phone video from the day divorced owner died. But they believe other evidence will prove their case.
I was shocked. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Attorney Irish Schechter says this blurry cell phone video shows LMPD officers pulling 17-year-old divorced Stoner from the car after Stoner had been fatally shot. It happened on August 25th of last year in the parking lot of a Zaxby's restaurant on Fern Valley Road in Louisville. Now, a civil lawsuit alleges Stoner died while as a confidential informant for LMPD, even though he was a minor.
I could still make out what I thought was clearly a police officer removing surveillance wires off divorced Stoner and then running away, and even I thought I could see the wrapping of the wire around his wrist as he sprinted off.
In response to this story, LMPD issued a...
Now, if he can see it, we can see it. I mean, this man say he can see it. This is what he actually can see. Y'all need to, like I say, click the link below. This is one y'all need to see and see again. You know, because this one is unexplainable, man. I'm going to rewind it.
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
One more time.
Rick, Vicky, right now the only evidence attorneys are publicly revealing is a cell phone video from the day divorced Stoner
The
died.
cell phone video, so this could come from another civilian. You are.
I was shocked. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Attorney Ira Schechter says this blurry cell phone video shows LMPD officers pulling 17-year-old divorced Stoner from a car after Stoner had been fatally shot. It happened on August 25th of last year in the parking lot of a Zaxby's restaurant on Fern Valley Road in Louisville. Now, a civil lawsuit alleges Stoner died while working as a confidential informant for LMPD, even though he was a minor.
I could still make out what I thought was clearly a police officer removing surveillance wires off divorced Stoner and then running away, and even I thought I could see the wrapping of the wire around his wrist as he sprinted off.
In response to this story, LMPD issued a statement saying it, quote, resoundingly refutes what is being put forth.
Man, we don't believe nothing they say.
Antonio Lawson
Look
was
at this.
indicted on charges of complicity to murder and complicity to robbery in connection to Stoner's death. According to court documents, Stoner died while he and Lawson attempted to rob and carjack someone.
Man, that don't make no sense.
The victim of that carjack.
What kind of informant? I don't know. Now, how you send an informant to carjack somebody? That's what y'all saying? I mean, that's what I could be wrong, you are. Like I say, y'all look it up, and then y'all tell me, you know, come back in and make some comments on this, because that's what I mean. That they tried to carjack somebody. But he was confidential informant on the scene. Now we got two officers who's supposed to be detectives in some plain clothes. I mean, they didn't have plain clothes on. They was in uniform, you all. In uniform. Close. Close enough for them to see that happen, to see the whole crime, not do nothing about the crime, get the video, and take off running. Man, come on, man. That's the criminals right there. That's your criminals. That's who need to be locked up right there, them two. They was in cahoots together. Get them out of here. Man, y'all get them people up out of here, man. And then y'all gonna put them back on the streets with some more children and kids? Ain't no telling what they gonna plan on people. Be taking on and off of people. And what kind of, ain't that a crime? That's tampering with evidence. Man, these people, y'all something else, man. I ain't gonna tarry too long on this. Go out first crack, gang. We out. Y'all go look at this one, y'all. Peace.